Hello everybody and welcome back to Middle-earth. This is Count MRVHS with, I believe, episode 23 of our 4th Age Total War Dwarves campaign. And as you can see, we have a battle here for you today. This is a sally battle in which I am being attacked by the garrison of Gundabad Fortress. And I have skipped ahead a couple of turns, which I did not record. It was kind of more of the same. But one development I will talk about right now is that I did take Mithrin Outpost. You may recall from previous episodes, we had an army that took Orodengrin, moved west, and besieged Mithrin Outpost. And after taking that and basically abandoning it because we couldn't really hold it, I decided to just press on to the real target of this expedition, which is Gundabad. This is required for our victory conditions. It also has the effect of boosting your faction leader's authority once you build the assembly of the seven houses, I believe it's called here. So we do need to take this. I besieged it, and as you can see, you might be able to see there's quite a large differential in terms of numbers here. We have 323 men against, well, dwarves, against 1,908, and these are orcs. There are some hill trolls here. There are wargs, and there's quite a lot here. So we'll see how this sally battle goes. I don't believe that this will result, even if we win, I don't believe this will result in us taking the settlement itself. I didn't bother building siege equipment or assaulting just because I pretty much knew that this was going to happen once I saw the size of the garrison, but I thought, yeah, you know what, let's give it a shot anyway. Let's see what we can do here. So we've got warhammers. I'm going to use these guys as kind of flankers. I think I am going to deviate a bit from my usual kind of checkerboard formation here. The long axes on that side. And we do have one unit of Durin's Guard. I guess I'll bring him down here. So if they come out in dribs and drabs like this, we may do fairly well. Of course, Orc Champions are pretty tough units, and here they are charging. Send in the Warhammers now, after we've softened up quite a bit, and actually halt, because they wither under all of the throwing axes that we have. So I'm happy to actually let them continue to use their axes, throwing them at these guys. I know they're going to regroup at some point, but I'm very happy to have gotten rid of this unit. That does leave the hill trolls, which are in there somewhere, or maybe they're coming around to this side. Of course, we've got wargs. We've got warg archers here as well. And they're going to be difficult to deal with because we don't have many ranged units at all. Just these 5 longbowmen mercenaries. Here's some raiders, here's some orc band. Not too worried about these guys. Go ahead and send the warhammers in to this melee. There's the trolls. Hit this orc band, I guess. I'd rather not have them just around our flanks. So it looks like the enemy is forming up outside the gates, and they'll probably push towards us here fairly soon. Oh, that's right. We do have a Dwarven Siege Ballista. Now, I did auto-resolve the assault of the Mithrin Outpost, and again, that was part of the campaign that I just didn't bother to record, and that may have resulted in more casualties than I would otherwise have taken. Okay, here come the hill trolls. I'm going to get ready with my own axes, and hopefully we can cause a quick rout here. Okay, so the Orc Raiders are routing. That's good. Hill Trolls are losing and wavering. And routing. Great. You can see some of them are falling there. Now, when they die, they actually can fall on your own men and kill them. So, do have to be aware of that. Okay, so there's 4 of them left. Now, they will come back. They're going to go into the fort. They're going to kind of regroup in the... It's basically a plaza here, although it does occupy the entire interior of the fort. So as soon as they come through that gate, they will be ready to go again. Some more Orc champions coming on our right. I think those may have been the ones that we saw off initially. You know, I'm not seeing anything else that's too daunting here, really. We've got some missile troops that the enemy is going to kind of annoy us with, but it's probably not going to do too much damage to us. And we do have some wargs, which will, which can cause some problems. But they're more of, if I remember correctly, wargs are more of an anti-cavalry unit. They scare horses. Yeah, so I wonder if just the regular war riders are actually effective versus cavalry. No, it doesn't say that. I don't know if they get any combat bonuses against cav, or if the cavalry that face them just suffer a morale penalty. Alright, we do have a lot of Orc champions here, so I must have missed this other group of them. Alright, we have seen off this threat to our right, and I want to pull these guys back near the support here. One of the problems playing with the Dwarves is that there's a tendency, because you've got these small units, these very strong units, even if they're a small unit size, there's a tendency to let them get pulled away from your support, sort of like you're seeing right here. So you do want to be aware of that, because although they can do very well against overwhelming odds, they can also get mobbed and cut down eventually. So you do want to keep an eye on how close they are to the flanks of your other troops, and just make sure they don't get pulled away too far, like this one-man Warhammer unit. And the other problem with this, because it's a sally battle, these towers will be firing on us, so we don't want to get much closer than we are right now. Let's have everybody just form up here, and we'll wait. Yep. That hurt. I think we'll be okay, because I do have a pretty good size remnant of this Dwarven Axe Throwers unit, and I do have my family members still here in pretty good shape. But the danger is that these guys can run around the flanks, obviously, and cause problems. So I think we are going to have to commit everybody at this point. We are going to be surrounded and flanked. Not too much of a surprise, considering how outnumbered we were. You can see the trolls there in the background running around, and eventually I'm sure they're going to try a charge right into one of these densely packed melees here. So now we just hope we hold out. If we could kill that general, of course, that would be great. We've already routed several of their high-tier units. So if we could kill that general, I think we'd have a pretty good chance at seeing a mass rout. Okay, we're getting charged in the back by wargs here. Yeah, this is not the best. And here's the trolls. Alright, but the trolls are now running again. That's good. They may... I'm not sure if they do damage to their own troops when they run through. They'd certainly knock them over. But we do have a lot of orc champions over here. 58 in one unit, 12 in another. And that is enough to do... here's 64 over here, so we have more than I thought. That's enough of them to do some damage, but it looks like we're winning on the left. So what I'm going to do is... let's kind of follow this up a little bit. And we're going to wrap around. They can certainly pull off some charges, but as you can see, they're breaking here. Alright, let's see if we can get those riders before they detect what's up. So this is their general unit. He's routing. And now's the point where we've got to keep everybody together. They've all got missile troops. Okay, the orc hunters are running in. I think we can catch them pretty easily. Now it's just a messy mob. Just select everybody up, keep them on the same target, and hope for the best. And I would also love it if these other troops would actually commit. But as you can see, they're just pulling back into the fort, regrouping, and coming back out again. Right, we'll hit these orc hunters. At least get these skirmishers off our backs. Good. Let's hit that orc band. Let's see. Here is the general unit. We're getting a little close to the towers, though. What you really want to do is get everybody fighting so that when everybody routs, you can end the battle. That's not going to happen. There goes the general, though. Still not routing. There they go. Let's hit these warg archers. I'm glad they've committed. They would be tough to catch. Alright, and let's turn around and hit these Snaga hunters so we don't get caught in the fire. I think we are actually getting hit by those towers. So one thing we might consider is just pushing in. And yeah, I think let's do it. May as well. Got 18 in my Durin's Guard unit. Decent numbers in the axe throwers. And 3 dwarven long axes. Of course, this is a risk. But it's Gundabad, right? This is a... It's a... how do I put this? It's not strategically important, but this is a historically important, symbolic locus of power for the dwarves, I guess. I believe, is this where Durin awoke? And of course, this isn't, you know, the entirety of it. The idea is this represents, you know, some outpost near the area, but any sort of dwarven settlement would, of course, be underground, but relatively small. We chose not to have this represented as a dwarven city battle map because at this point it was, well, throughout the Third Age, it was never really claimed by the dwarves, or at least it never was held by them for a particularly long period. Even in its heyday, I believe in the Second Age, when it was the seat of these council meetings for all the dwarven families, I don't think it was ever like the equivalent of a dwarven capital. So it's a minor settlement where we won't be able to train things here, but it's a requirement. It's got prestige, so we definitely want it. And now it's just an ugly scrum for the gate, and they're just going to keep... We're going to have to kill absolutely everybody here because they're going to keep regrouping. But it looks like we're going to be able to do that pretty easily. So now we've got some men in the actual borders here. Not sure if I'm going to want to actually send anyone to take the gates. I don't know that it makes that much of a difference. You're still going to take friendly fire either way. We're doing pretty good here. It doesn't look like we're taking any fire. Alright. Is this it? We have control, and we have a clear victory. We lost over half of our forces, but we actually wiped out all of theirs, so that's good news. So at this point we have Fort Gundabad. Alrighty, and as you can see, they don't like us too much. We will go for the Lay Desolate option. This is just orc filth here. Oh, and how fitting. The king has departed Middle-earth just on receiving word of the victory at Gundabad Fortress. So, we'll see who the new king is. Duri of the House of Durin. He's over in Barad-dûm. And it looks like he is already mature. Actually, I don't know if dwarves go higher than this. But I could be wrong. So he is now the king of the dwarves. Alright, so this is actually a good opportunity for us. The past several episodes have been just battle, battle, battle. So here is a chance for us to take a breath, look around the campaign map, and see what's up. So starting in the northeast here with our new king, Duri, and Barad-dûm, we have seen this rune army just sort of setting up on our border for a while. Now they do occasionally work around and go after Barad-dûm. It'll take them quite some time. They can't. He's not really close to it at all. He'll have to march all the way around and then down and into the east this way. I'm thinking that the AI, if they can see this, which I think they can, is just calculating that this is not a sizable enough force to actually make it here, so that they're going to be stuck there for a while. We can see that that Rovanian has expanded, and it's done so at the expense of Dorwinion. The capital here, Belagant, is under siege, probably by Rovanian. We are neutral to them still, but for the past couple of turns, I have seen Rovanian armies actually in my territory. Now, it looks like they've passed through and are heading up to take the fight to Belagant. Now, Dorwinian is my ally. I should be trying to help them, but I don't think we have military access with them anyway. They may have refused that. So I'm not going to do that. I'm thinking that once this falls, we are going to be attacked by Rovanian. We did give them this at one point just to prevent Rune from expanding in this direction. So that may have bought us a bit of time in terms of their betrayal, but I'm thinking it has more to do with the fact that they're at war with Dorwinian. So we'll just keep eyes on this. Dorwinian has the fort of Karnan. That's not really doing them a lot of good. And let's see, what else do they have? They still have the northern borderlands. North Rune is split between the settlement way over here and this one over here. They may have another one somewhere here as well. But our big news, there was a battle that I skipped over with Rune in the past couple of turns. It was very similar to the battles you've seen in the past, and it was somewhere in this area. A couple of Rune stacks attacked me, and I won. So rather than taking Erebos, though, I have decided we are going to head east. And the reason for that is Erebos is a small settlement. There is not a lot of benefit to be had in taking it, whereas Tham, as you can see by this banner, is a chief city. This is the capital of Rune. This is going to be very well built up. It's going to have a nice fat population, and it's going to potentially really hurt their economy if we take it. It's also going to become the focus of probably all of the attacks from Rune from here on out. So this is going to be much better economically for us than this. Now, that said, I probably will want to get this at some point just to link up our territories, but not a priority really. We'll take Tham, and then probably the next one I want to take is Raycost, if that's how you pronounce it, which is somewhere up here to the north. And the nice thing about this settlement is that it actually has oceanfront property, so there is a harbor here which can get it some quite hefty trade income, especially if you have some other ports on the Sea of Rune, and I do intend to, because once this falls, and once I end up at war with Rovanian, this is going to be a target for me. This is a very rich settlement, and so is Raycost, and so is Tham, so I'll have a nice little corner of the map. Once I take Tham, I'm not too worried about Rune anymore. I mean, they're going to be attacking me for sure, but I don't know that they've expanded too far to the south. They haven't even moved into Khan, from what I can tell. So once I take Tham, I've kind of taken the heart out of Rune, and if I can expand into Raycost into the north, I will certainly need to get some reinforcements from my population centers up here, but that'll be something to plan for in the long term. Now, some other stuff. I'm actually pleased with how things seem to be progressing with regard to Adunabar and Rohan. As you can see here, Rohan has expanded up into Langwyke. I believe they are at war with the elves, is that right? Yeah, there's probably some trespassing or an elven ambush or something that led to a war between them and the elves. They have not done anything with that. Rohan has not expanded into elven territory at all, so it's just a cold war. But Adunabar has held on to mid-deeping and actually pushed west of the Anduin. So they've taken Woldburg, and they are in force right around the borders of the river. So I think that Rohan's days are numbered, partly because I have prevented them from expanding into the west. I've taken the outpost of Dol Baran, I've held that, so Rohan has not been able to do its usual thing of getting into Dunland and growing population and making money that way. They've been pretty much limited to this, and their ally, the Reunited Kingdom, has even blocked them from expanding west along the southern banks of the Isen. Other bad news for Rohan is this: the burgeoning power of Harad. The men of the south have crossed the Poros, and we may have seen in some previous episodes that they have taken Ithilien. They've taken it completely, not only Emin Arnen, which shows no signs of rebellion currently, but also Minas Ithil, which I don't know if this is actually a city or if this is still a fort. This is one of the settlements that if you hold it and if you are either Adunabar or the Reunited Kingdom, you can actually build this into a full-fledged city. It starts as basically just a fort, but you can build it up yourself. So if Adunabar or the Reunited Kingdom got this, built it up, and then Harad took it, then this becomes a very important settlement for Harad. Again, no signs of rebellion here. They've also taken the fortress of Caer Andros. They've also taken, of course, Minas Anor. No signs of rebellion there. Looks like they're going to hold that. And they're sending forces into Gondor proper. You can see they've got a small force here right outside Arnak. And it doesn't look like there's that much to stop them. They've got, for some reason, a very large army in the west. Maybe this was a relic of wars against Dunland, or back in the early days, because Dunland does begin with Dunfrecca. But this army heading east, and we saw one other field army here that may give Harad some trouble. But it looks as though Harad is quickly gaining the upper hand. They've also taken and not been able to hold Calenhad, so this is now just a seat of rebels. So Rohan is pretty much limited to Aldburg, Edoras, Hornburg, and Dunfrecca, and then a couple settlements, relatively small ones, over here. As you can see, Dunland has besieged me. I didn't even get a chance to build the provincial pacification. They are going to assault, it looks like, and this is troubling. This is it's not their most elite army, but it's the kind of army that can do a lot of damage, as we've seen. Now, there are a fair number of cavalry troops here, and that could actually be a good thing for me, because the city of Dunkreoch has timber walls, which cannot be rammed through, so it pretty much limits the attacker to going through the gates. And that means that I can set up my forces pretty much around those gate entrances, and I've got enough, tough family member types, a blunderbuss unit, some long axes, that I think will be okay. My real concern is not getting the breathing room necessary to build up in this settlement. What else have I done recently? Lastbridge is under siege still by the Bjornings, and unfortunately, okay, they are building a ram. That's good. I made a decision to abandon Lastbridge with this was my king, but he's now since died of old age, because I thought it more important to secure the pass. There's this small Bjorning army, and I've got enough men to hold it, I believe. I was worried there for a moment that they weren't building any siege equipment, and so I started to move these guys down here to sort of pressure them a bit. That seems to have worked. I think what I'll do is actually move them here so that they can reinforce in the event that the Bjornings do assault. Tharbad has attempted to take Bree several times, so far been unsuccessful. The Reunited Kingdom here is not doing too well. There is a fairly even balance of power at the moment between them and Adunabar. As you can see, Adunabar has a stack right near Fornost, but Enumenas and this fort north of it are pretty well stocked. So I'm not sure who's going to get the upper hand, but it's probably going to be Tharbad, if we're honest. Tharbad's going to eventually take Bree and probably move into Thornost and start declaring war on the Reunited Kingdom, if they haven't already. I don't think they are. No, they're only at war with Adunabar. They're allied with me, but I'm not thinking that's going to last very long. All right, let's see if we can make a couple of moves here before we click end turn and see what's coming. So here we are at Gundabad Fortress. Now we're seeing the public order is not changing at all in response to tax rates. We're going to keep it on low at 51% and 717 able-bodied population. Now we can't really build anything here right now other than fortified walls. I'm going to go ahead and destroy the troll horde just because, and I am going to start going on fortified walls here. Once we get those done, we can work on the next level. Currently here we have a ruined memorial of Durin, which is kind of the prerequisite building to the assembly of the 7 houses again. So this is not really doing anything for us, I believe, currently, but once we get that other building up and running, we should be good. Now, we'll see if we actually get rebellions here. It's very touchy, and so, as you can see, we're dangerously low in terms of public order, but in my experience, you don't actually get rebellions in these types of settlements, at least for quite some time. So hopefully that will work and we won't lose our family member. I would like to get some reinforcements over there, though. All right, I think we've made all the military moves that I want to make. In terms of sieges and everything, we're just going to have to wait for those to resolve. Oh, I do have Furrow Drain under siege, but I'm going to keep it that way. I don't really feel the need to press that. So let's see what the AI does. All right, they want to accept overlordship. We're just going to ignore that. And we are attacked by a host of Dunlendings. So this is going to be the big siege for Dunkreok. Not unexpected. We have, let's see, several units of Cav, a unit of Axes of the Wolf. Not too concerned with this. I mean, it's a very large army. The bigger problem is when the AI has reinforcements like this in an assault situation, they cheatingly get rams, even though, as you can see, they have no siege equipment. This guy has no siege equipment. I guarantee you they're going to each have a ram. And so it's very sad, very unfair, but what can you do? We're going to probably fight this in the next episode rather than right now. But I'll see you in that next episode. Thank you very much for joining me for this one, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye, everybody.